Lee.
Jonathan Lee.
He graduated from Roanoke College and then went to work for the Salvation Army. I met him there, and I think he joined our Kiwanis Club. Maybe the Salvation Army paid for his membership, and then
welcome everybody. It's good to see you all here on this Wednesday. This is our first meeting since we did the Mill Mountain dedication for Bauer.
They haven't
heating and air conditioning, and I think it went really well. Bauer had like 20 people there, all wearing Bauer heating and air conditioning polo shirts and all that kind of stuff. I thought it was very well received. The mayor did a nice job, very nice job. We had Channel 10 there. They did some publicity for us as well. So thank you all that participated, and thanks especially to Bauer Heating and Air for making it all possible. $7,700 to sponsor. Pretty good day's work, I'd say. Beth and I went to a restaurant the other night. It was called Karma, and there was no menu. They just fed you what they thought you deserved. Our call for introspection today is Joe Gaither. Pledge of Allegiance is Jane Vollendorf. And we'll have a song today led by Judy Clark. Joe?
Thank you, President Ben and Kiwanis. When Pastor Towler contacted me about doing introspection today, I really labored with it. And what the Lord laid in my heart was a devotion I did with our Sunday school class. And I want to share it with you today. It's entitled The 5 Signs of the Divine Life. The 5 Signs of the Divine Life. Can you hear me? Praise the Lord. Entitled this devotion, The 5 Signs of the Divine Life. Can you imagine a professing Christian screaming and shouting obscenities and shaking his fist at someone who cut him off in traffic? A co-worker riding with him replies, "I thought you were a Christian." The driver replies, "Oh no, that's just what I tell people at work. It's just a label I use to make people think I'm a nice person. It's only right for people to expect those who follow Christ to bear some resemblance to him and obey his teaching. If you're going to wear the name, you need to act the same." I would like to share 5 signs of divine life that every Christian should emulate. Number 1, dusty shoes, a relevant life. Out in the community, making a difference. Christ put his sandals on and traveled the dusty roads to take the gospel to the world. We must be about letting our light shine to push back the darkness. The Great Commission is given to every one of us. Number 2, rolled up sleeves, an authentic life. We must have a servant's attitude without pretense and hidden motives. The way we serve God is by serving others. Every service project you do is a testament to Christ. Number 3, open hands, a generous life. Only those who have developed a lifestyle of giving know just how blessed the results of giving our time, our toil, and our talents can be. Our giving should reflect our living. Acts 20:35 is something we all know. It's better to give than to receive. Number 4, outstretched arms, a compassionate life. Christ felt the sufferings of us, and he responded, we must do the same. Our Lord is pleased when we reach out to those around us. We need that Samaritan spirit, not like the priest and the Levite. I think we all know that story. They walked by the man. Number 5, the most important, worn out knees, a yielded life. 1 Thessalonians 5:17 declares we should pray without ceasing. My brothers and sisters, in the hour we live in, we gotta stay on our knees. Prayer is our access to the throne of God. Two things I have found out about effectual prayer. Number one, it's hard to stumble when you're on your knees. Number two, man answers email, God answers email. And I want to leave this in your spirit. Unless there is something within us, that which is above us, we will soon be consumed about and around those things that are around us. God bless your heart.
Would now be a good time to play the song.
Good song?
Yep.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, pick up your little cheat sheets on the table. This song is really nice. I think it applies to the students of the Kiwanis. You find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, close to the dark, like raging through, at least we'll try.
All right, I'll play the song for you.
If you ever find yourself lost in the dark, you can see. Be the light to guide you. Be the call to help us in you. And I know when I need, I can count on you. That 4, 3, 2, you'll be there. Cause that's what friends are supposed to do again. Take a phone. You ever forget how much you really mean to me? Say I will find you. Oh, but I want where to help the friends of you. And I don't know what we need. 1, 2, 3. That we need to hold on. 4, 3, 2, you'll be there. That's what friends are supposed to do again.
Good effort. Get rid of the power cord once this thing gets charged up. Thank you all. Today, our introduction of guests will be Andre Brooks. Andre.
Hello, I'm Andre Brooks. I'm not a new member. Been a member of this club for 20 years, very proud of that. But I have been asked to greet our guests today and to introduce them. So I'm going to ask that the guests stand along with your host, and all please stand until we finish introducing, and then we will welcome you with our applause. So our first guest is Beth O'Brook, and her host is none other than Mike O'Brook. So Vicki Keith is with us again, and her host is Hannah Nicely. Hi, it's time to sign up this lady for membership. Fred Jester. And his host is Bart Wilner, and Fred said he is interested in membership. So Bart, let's talk to Fred. And then it's my pleasure to introduce a new member. That is Matt Tratum. He's with the Salvation Army, and his host, his sponsor, is Greg Lineberger. So welcome. All our guests. I'm not quite sure this is appropriate, but I have the microphone in.
There you go.
We used to share a bit about why a new member joined, not a new member, but I thought I would tell you why I joined Kiwanis. It's a secret. I was asked for my brother, Kenneth. He said, we could have lunch together every Wednesday. I was sold. But then when I came, I found all these people, some of whom I knew and some I did not know. But immediately, all these projects, all these things, all these ways to be involved in our community, all set out for me and ready. And I have found it a wonderful experience. For our guests, you can be involved in a project every week, at least, if you want. Or you can pick and choose, which probably most of you will, and that's just fine. But I would recommend the Kiwanis Club of Roanoke to you. It's been a wonderful 20 years to me, not only serving the community, but also the fellowship on Wednesdays, and just really making friends with so many wonderful people. So welcome, thank you for being here.
And since Brooke Tolley is in the house, we have to recognize Brooke. She has earned her permanent badge. Brooke, if you'd come forward. Oh, you have to get your picture back there. Doesn't matter. Let's see. Next, we have an autobiography by our own Mike O'Brockton.
So we get to do this when we're elected to be president. We get to stand here and tell you a little bit about our background. And some of you know me well enough to know that you'll appreciate. I've invited my wife here so you can fact check with her later. So I'm going to begin on July 11th, 2005. That's when I wrote the following in my climbing journal. Our climbing team has just ascended past the 20,000 foot level on Mount Aconcagua in Argentina. It's one of the world's 7 summits and the tallest mountain outside of the Himalayan range. We're 8 hours into our summit attempt. The temperature is well below 0. The air is chokingly thin. The summit is in sight, but our depleted leg muscles are rubbery. Dawn is now just breaking, and our guide has just fallen into a crevasse. He did that while attempting to lead us over an unstable, overhanging wall of ice. That's right, our guide has just fallen into a crevasse. I'd like to tell you a little bit about what led me to that point. And then what happened next? So let's back up. You see, meeting goals, like climbing mountains, began at an early age for me. It began when my father was taken by cancer when I was just 11. Growing up below the poverty line with a largely absent mother, and then without a father, I figured my life was going to largely depend on my own actions. So I began to set goals. Goal 1, go to college. How? Well, I worked as many odd jobs as I could after school and during summers. Goal 2, get a college degree in something that's employable. So how? I graduated with an electrical engineering degree from one of the largest engineering colleges in the country. At the time, it was called Newark College of Engineering. And I'm pleased to say that one of my best friends is a member of this club, Mai Chung. We graduated together. Also, how? After getting that engineering degree, worked a lot of jobs to earn scholarship money to pay for it. Next goal, about that employment thing. How? 33 years at the CIA. I was an engineer, project manager, director, and a leader. And there were just incredibly talented people there. They were unsung heroes, people you're never going to hear about. They exhibited strong characteristics of innovation, commitment, and follow through. It didn't matter there what your seniority was, what your title was. Force of a good idea ruled the day in the CIA. By the way, I had the privilege as a very junior engineer in the CIA of working on what was the most technologically advanced project they had ever undertaken. And even though I was a junior member, I want to thank you. I was spending huge, huge sums of your taxpayer money. It was 1983. That project you all now refer to as a cell phone. 1983. Pretty impressive. Well, that was a fortunate experience for me at a young age in my profession. That kind of propelled me along. So I had an interesting career there. Eventually I ended up running CIA's project management program. We all know they do a lot of spying, but what's not as well known is they have a huge number of managers of projects. Then I went on to build the federal government certification for project management after that. And then I went on to retire, run a project management consulting company. And then I went on to hold some of the highest leadership positions in the Project Management Institute. Turns out that's the largest professional organization in the world. Who knew? Next goal. Fall in love and get married. How? Well, it kind of beats me. You know, this was really not a goal I was conscious of at the time. However, it was a goal my now wife, Beth, who's seated right there, it's a goal my now wife had. She says she was not really shopping for a husband. I think otherwise. You know, and after a short time dating, it sure became a goal of mine. So we hit it off pretty well. And she recognized at an early point in our relationship, she was dealing with an engineer who was, shall we say, somewhat socially backward. And she understood that I really didn't understand the best ways to go about things that interacted with other human beings. So, in one of those, it seemed like a good idea at the time moments, I took Beth on a trip backpacking to the White Mountains in New Hampshire for 10 days. For someone who'd never been backpacking before. To the highest mountain on the East Coast, Mount Washington, and not by the auto road. Flip page. So, tended to put a strain on our emerging relationship, don't you think? And I think it put a strain on the future of that relationship. But I wasn't worried about that, because considering the odds, we're at the top of the highest mountain on the East Coast. I did try to tip those odds in my favor. I had the food, the compass, and the sleeping bags, and the maps. So I figured now is the best time to ask her to marry me. She did. There were tears of joy. At least I think those were tears of joy. Either way, as I said, I had the map and compass, so we got down just fine. Decades later, she's still dealing with a socially backward engineer, still backpacking, still living a life filled with adventure. She's made a remarkable impression on many, many lives beyond mine due to her caring and her guidance. Likewise, her thousands of volunteer hours have made a difference on many lives. Every year, year in and year out, you'll find her over at Carillion, or Meals on Wheels, or Blue Ridge Literacy, or the Transportation Museum, year after year. Look up volunteer in the dictionary, I'll tell you whose picture you're gonna see, Beth's. And look up the best thing we've ever done in the dictionary, and you're gonna see a picture of our son, William. He's joined me a couple times here, and I couldn't be prouder of him, and neither can Beth. We live our lives through his accomplishments at this point. He works extremely hard. He's pretty smart. You can guess which one of them he takes after. And he's now in Texas as a university professor. Next goal, make a difference. Make a difference. Some of us are here for that same reason. Well, how? Spend decades in leadership positions. Methodist Church, Presbyterian Church, Boy Scouts, now here. Trying to help our club build on its history of long success. Now back to that crevice. Remember, our guide had just fallen in. It's over 20,000 feet. The air is chokingly thin, it's cold, and the legs are rubbery. What happened next reflects the fact that I'm willing, more than willing, to forego short-term goals for long-term accomplishments. Long-term accomplishments mean a lot to me. So I'll toil day after day on something that's way out in the future. And I'll sacrifice a little bit along the way to meet that goal. That could result in financial security, could result in professional success, might even result in some success here in the Kiwanis Club. You saw that when I ran KPAD this year. You saw us focus on things well beyond the financial bottom line and well beyond 2003. More than happy to sacrifice in the short term for the long-term benefit. So I was more than happy to help extract that guide from that crevasse. Turn around, come down the mountain safely so I could return again another day and have another accomplishment and meet another goal. Next goal, coming up soon. As president of our club, next goal, move our club a little further forward. How? With your help. Thank you very much.
Nicely done, Mike. Nicely done, Mike. Thank you. Announcements today. I'll do mine two first since I'm already here. The membership committee is Zooming Friday morning at 8 a.m. That information is, again, it's on the website. Go to the calendar and you'll find the Zoom link. Also, the grants committee will be Zooming next Friday. That's the 22nd. Next Friday, 22nd, right? 22nd at 2 o'clock. There'll be a Zoom meeting. And again, that information, that Zoom link is at the website on the calendar. And the packages went out by email yesterday. I got those out yesterday. There are 39 grant requests this year. 2 of our grant requests did not comply with our basic requirements of financial disclosure, tax information, and board of directors information, but 37 did. So we've got some decisions to make on the 22nd. And those of you that are on that committee or would like to be a part of that committee, please join. We have our officers installation at Carvin's Cove on the 27th. Mike, do you want to talk about that? You shouldn't have sat down.
Yeah, so we're gonna install a bunch of officers. We're gonna thank a bunch of officers for the jobs they've done. And we're gonna eat New Orleans gumbo. Our sheets are on your table, is that true? Do you have sign-up sheets on your table for the officer installation?
I said that wrong. It's for committees. You need to email me.
John did not make a mistake, I did. You're supposed to email him and sign up for the officer installation. And do it soonest. It's free for members, I guess $12. So. Committee sign up?
It is on the thing.
Committee sign-ups on the table, that's what John told me. So I want one person from each table right now to stand up, just one person from each table, random, one person from each table. Stand up, one person, every table, even the old men table right here. All right, as incoming president, I am deputizing every one of you for the remainder of this meeting. Your job, once I tell you to sit down, your job is to work with the rest of the people at your table and get them to sign up on those committee sheets that are on your tables. Thank you. Sit down.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, come on, Greg.
Hey everybody, also on your tables, most of them I believe, you will see a sign-up sheet for our bocce tournament, which is going to be Saturday, October 21st. Looking forward to a big time. As I had mentioned, we are adding an additional actual competition. We are having a best dressed. There will be a trophy for that. And again, this is a team competition, so ideally your best dressed is a team effort. Doesn't have to be the same team. If you're a Hokie and she's a Wahoo, that's okay. You'll both come out and dressed in your best. But we're looking forward to a fun day. Going to serve lunch, have a couple beers, other seltzers type things available. So hope everybody comes out. We also are trying to make this an opportunity to bring guests. I know I've told you before, but guest teams are half price, and so love to have a big turnout. I'll keep the sign-up sheets on the tables each week. You'll be billed through your statements and things like that. So just go ahead and sign on up. We'd love to have you come out. Thanks.
We do have at least one brag today. David Perry. You guys are gonna have to step on the gas. Come on.
This is a $5 bill, so you know it's an important brag. Could you pass that to Elmer, please? For me? This is my associate, Gene Bollendorf. You may have heard there was a little football game down in Charlottesville this past weekend. And rumor has it is that the Dukes of James Madison University emerged from the crucible of Scott Stadium with the victory over a Power 5 school, the Virginia Cavaliers.
I thought you were playing Virginia.
Yeah. Well, you know, Power 5. Air quotes. As JMU alumni, we've always had to hear from the Who's that JMU stands for just missed UVA in terms of our application process. But you know, JMU only won that game by 1 point. Now I am happy to say, Wahoos, you just missed JMU. That was all I had for you. Oh wait. You just missed UVA. That's what I wanted to say. That's why I didn't go to UVA. It was a freezing moment. Having ruined that.
And I would just like to add, don't ever underestimate us and go home during the delay because it was a sea of purple, folks.
Go to.
I see that I jumped in line in front of Guy Bird, so hopefully I'll get in front of him. This Friday night, Dan's Easy Pickings Band, will be the special music. Can everybody hear me? The special music at the Adult Care Center in Salem at the barbecue dinner. And I think Guy Bird had announced this a couple of weeks ago. Tickets are $25, which can be purchased, I think, today or at the door. Is that correct? And if you want to, you can see Guy Bird for those tickets. This is a great fundraiser to support the Adult Care Center. If he can be there on Friday night, I'm sure that Guy would be gladly to accept a donation for the Adult Care Center. So hope to see everybody there Friday night.
Yeah.
All right. Sherry Hartman, a real quick brag, because I promised my husband I would do this, and I do want to be able to return home tonight, all in one piece. So the brag is Dave and I do serve on the Capital District DIBA Committee, Diversity, Inclusion, Equity, Belonging, and Accessibility. That's a mouthful. It has a really valuable mission to accomplish. One of the things that they are doing is sponsoring educational opportunities around these topics. And the next one is coming up next Tuesday. You can zoom in and get a really high caliber level of, honestly, a leadership development opportunity. You would emerge from this as a better leader. It's Tuesday night on the 19th, and we will get the information out there. I'll get it on the website with Michael Brock's help, so you can zoom in Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. Thank you.
Guy Bird here, and I just want to say thanks to Diane. You took the words right out of my mouth. We are, the Adult Care Center is having its pig picking on Friday night, 6:30. And Dan and Mike Quinn and the rest of the Slim Pickens band are going to be there. It's going to be great. Thank you. But I also just want you to know that I sat out at lunch today, and Joe Gaither handed me an envelope. And it's from the Shiloh Baptist Church men's organization. And it's most generous, most helpful, and we're all the more appreciative of Kiwanis' help. Thank you so much.
I'm John Montgomery. I'm doing a brag for a Zoomer, Vern Danielson. With our technology change, Zoomers aren't able to be heard in the room. And Vern and I had an exchange on the computer. He asked if I would let you know that his birthday was September 3rd. And in a tradition that I guess John Bradshaw, former co-worker of Vern's, started some years ago of doing $1 a year, Vern is contributing $100. Now, Vern's not 100, but he said, as a former treasurer of this club, he's done some rounding, which I can appreciate. And I believe he's rounded up. So he's making a contribution of 100 to the foundation. Thank you, Vern, for doing that. And while I'm here, I would be remiss if I didn't say to the JMUers, as a UVA graduate, I'm proud to say, not proud to say, I will say that we've lost a few football games over the years. I am proud to say that we lost a fine school Saturday that my daughter, son-in-law, and niece are all graduates.
Thank you, braggers. Our guest speaker today will be introduced by Bart Wilmer. Bart.
Thank you, President Ben. And I am not here to speak about Virginia Tech football. I am here to introduce today's speaker. Our speakers today are going to take all of us back to college, since we've been talking about colleges for the last couple of minutes, specifically Roanoke College. Our campus tour guides will be Megan Jester right here and Jonathan Lee. Megan earned her bachelor's degree from Virginia Tech and her graduate degree from the University of Lynchburg. She currently serves as the Director of Career Exploration. In that role, she works with the Roanoke College students to help them develop into well-prepared professionals as well as strong citizens, something that we promote. She also works with the Roanoke College faculty to make sure they're actually offering real world learning opportunities for today's students. Jonathan earned his bachelor's degree from Roanoke College and his graduate degree from Virginia Tech. So they're representing a lot of universities up here. He currently serves as the Director of Strategic Partnerships for Student and Alumni Success. In that role, he works with organizations throughout our region to develop meaningful partnerships that benefit Roanoke College students, while also developing talent for our region's companies, nonprofits, and government agencies. Both Megan and Jonathan work in Roanoke College's Center for Purpose, Life, and Career Exploration. They call it PLACE, P-L-A-C-E. They are dedicated to helping students find their place in this crazy world we live in. Here, students have the opportunity to explore their purpose in their community and in their chosen career field. The tour of Roanoke College starts right now. Let's give our tour guides a warm Kiwanian welcome.
While I pull up the presentation, first I will just say thank you to Bart for inviting us to speak. It's going to be a pleasure being here. And I will also say that once upon a time, in a different point in my career, I was a member of the Kiwanis Club here in Roanoke. So I was definitely excited to be able to come back and do this. Here we go. And whenever I came into the room, I looked around a bit and I saw some wonderful, familiar faces that I was really excited to see and be able to catch up with. And then I also saw Jim Randall's. And I guess you have to take the bad with the good. So Mr. Randall's, thank you for being here today. Let me just get this started. Here we go. Well, we are excited to be here today because we are very, very dedicated, Megan and both myself, to going around the community and making sure that folks throughout the Roanoke Valley, throughout the New River Valley, throughout this region of the state, understand what a jewel you have right here in your backyard with Roanoke College. I think oftentimes a lot of folks in Roanoke take us for granted. And I'm a Roanoke College alum, so there are times where I probably even take the institution for granted, even though I work there and I live close by. But I want to make sure that we share a lot of the great and exciting developments that are taking place at the college, a lot of the community partnerships that we have, a lot of opportunities that you can tap into and be a part of, both personally, and then Megan will talk about this ways that especially you as professionals can tap into the great talent and partner with us to make sure that a lot of our students get wonderful experiences and that they also stay in the Valley, because that is obviously a big drive for Roanoke College. It's a big drive for so many of you. You choose to call this place home, and we want our students to make sure that they call it home as well. So this presentation, we're going to be talking about how Roanoke College, and especially PLACE, as Bart said, our Center for Purpose, Life, and Career Exploration, how we can all partner together to make sure we make this place, the Roanoke Valley, our home, better than it ever has been. I would just share a few of the exciting developments that we have going on at Roanoke College. And I will just The very first thing that I want to talk about, just because oftentimes at colleges and universities, we realize athletics is sort of the front porch, it's the front door of an institution. Academics is the real meat, it's what's really inside, but those athletic programs are what oftentimes garner attention and get prospective students and their parents and the community excited and jazzed about a school. As a quick aside, Megan and I obviously both have connections, a past with Virginia Tech, her with her undergrad experience, me with my graduate experience. So we oftentimes, when we talk about Scott Stadium in Charlottesville, we call that Lane Stadium North, because obviously the Hokies own that stadium. And I'm really glad that, JMU decided to own it for a week this past week. But one really great thing about football is that it does obviously gain a lot of attention. It builds a lot of excitement. It builds community spirit, both with an alumni base, with students, and then also in the greater region. So I am proud to announce, and many of you have probably seen this in the news, but Roanoke College is bringing back our football team after a slight 82-year break. As we led into World War II, we decided to take a break. I think the plan was maybe a 3 or 4 year break, but that got extended by a few decades. So now, 82 years later, we're restarting the football program. And not only are we having football, we're also going to have competitive cheer, dance, and band. So through this entire process, we're expecting probably another 100 football players will be coming to our campus, 50 to 75 band members, 20, 30 to 40 competitive cheer and dance athletes as well. So we're going to have probably well over 200 new students, hopefully some of whom will be staying in this region. Maybe they're Salem Spartans, they play at Lord Botetourt, Cave Spring, Hidden Valley, even the biggest football powerhouse in this region, the Craig County Rockets, my alma mater. Hopefully some of those students and football players stay in this region and come and call Roanoke College home. But we also want to attract high school football players, band members, cheerleaders, dancers from up and down the East Coast, from throughout the country. So we can get them here, enjoying the Roanoke Valley, all that is going on, making an impact on our campus, but also eventually staying in the Roanoke Valley and calling this place home for decades to come. So we are excited about the football program. Next year, we will play a half season. So starting in September of 2024, start coming out for tailgates at Salem Stadium. For a while, we'll play our home football games at Salem Stadium. Plenty of parking, you can tailgate. Come and see Megan or myself after the presentation. We can get you tailgate spot number 1 for the right price. So please mark that on your calendar, and we're excited to dominate the ODAC conference soon. One other new sports I want to talk about is cycling. Those of you who have been paying attention here in the area to visit Virginia's Blue Ridge, you've seen how they have partnered with Roanoke College. We have great cycling programs, all kinds of great cycling programs for youth at the college. We're becoming sort of the East Coast hub for both road cycling and for mountain biking. And we're excited. We have probably more than a dozen new students who have come to our campus this year who are part of our cycling program. And our coach, I love to brag about her. Her name is Shelly Olds. She's a Roanoke College graduate. Give you the 30-second bio. She was an All-American soccer player at Roanoke College. Great person. She wrapped up her career in soccer, and she decided, what do I want to do now that I'm out of college for athletic competition? So she got on a bike and realized that she was a dynamo. Never had really ridden before, but after college started riding. She ended up winning probably 24 international cycling competitions in Europe, in China, throughout Asia, and South America. And she ended up representing the United States in the London Olympics in 2012, which if it was not for a flat tire, she would have definitely medaled. She was in the top 2 until about a mile from the finish, got a flat tire and still finished 7th in the Olympics. She has come home and she's our cycling coach. So we are excited about that. And we are really excited about how we can partner with the entire Valley to make sure we're getting great students, great cyclists here. And it's going to be an economic driver. A few other things here on this slide I do just want to mention. Academics. Why you go to college? What's really important about college? The academic piece, what you learn. Roanoke College just started our first graduate program this summer. We started our MBA program. We have a great cohort of students who are bright, they're energized, and in about a year from now, or probably 9 months from now, they'll be looking for great job opportunities. So if any of you have openings where you need bright, fresh talent, our MBA students would be fantastic fits for you. We're really excited about that. And just be on the lookout in the news. Don't be surprised if you see Roanoke College announcing several more graduate programs in the coming months, especially over the next 12 months. We're also in the process of building a brand new science center on campus. This is something that is really important for us. As many of you know, with STEM fields growing, with AI, I think that's going to be your presentation next week, computer science, AI, and all those sorts of things really taking off. I mean, we have the inventor of the cell phone right here in the room with us, so we all understand how important it is for our students to be well-versed in science, technology, and engineering. We're building a brand new center, tens of millions of dollars we're investing in that, and we're putting the shovel in the ground next year in 2024 to make that happen. So if you happen to have children, grandchildren, nieces, or nephews who want to go to med school, become an engineer, become a computer scientist, Roanoke College is the place for them to be. Thinking of incoming students, admissions. Our new students moved in 2.5, 3 weeks ago now. We had the largest incoming class that we have had since 2019, since before the pandemic. And we're extremely excited about that because they are talented, they're energized, they want to be not just in Salem, they want to be a part of the greater Roanoke Valley. We brought them the second day that they were on campus, we brought them to downtown Roanoke so they could learn about all the businesses and the restaurants that are here. Now understand, most of them are under 21, so they will be very careful which restaurants they frequent and what times and what they order. But they're excited to be part of this valley, and we're excited to have them. So we're very pleased with the way that we're seeing our numbers grow with international students, with honors students, with transfers. We've had the most transfers into Roanoke College this year than we've ever had in our history. One other thing that I really want to mention, the last bullet point here, because this is a way that you can get involved immediately. We have fantastic events on our campus. Now, next year we'll have fantastic football. You can come watch cycling through downtown Roanoke, at Carbons Cove, all those sorts of things. But right now, you can come and participate in lectures and events and programs that take place on campus. And I just listed a couple. Ben Carson, Dr. Ben Carson is coming to campus tonight. And just so you know, it is already sold out, standing room only. We have over 500 individuals from here in the Valley who've already signed up for that. But those are the types of programs we want all of you to take advantage of. We have these high-level, high-powered, compassionate speakers, doctors who are coming to our campus, business leaders all the time. And we want all of you to take advantage of that. You don't have to drive to DC or Charlotte or Blacksburg or Charlottesville to see those folks. You can drive 10 minutes away into Salem onto our campus and see those folks. Allie Cassens, who is one of our professors. She leads our economics department at Roanoke College. She is part of the Federal Reserve. She is a research fellow for the Federal Reserve, determining economic policy for this entire nation. She's going to be speaking and talking about the economic forecast for our region and our state on October 11th on campus. So please mark your calendars for that. We'll make sure if John is willing to do this, we will share that date with you, but we're partnering with the Chamber of Commerce to make sure that everybody who's in business can come and find out what does the economic forecast look like for our region? How should you be investing? Should you be hiring? All those things. And she's a Federal Reserve expert, so we're excited about that. I will quickly just mention these and then I will turn things over to Megan. Two great partnerships that you may have seen about recently in the news. We've developed a partnership with Virginia Western Community College called Rapid Maroons. And this is something we are extremely excited about. It's also a trend-setting type of partnership. Basically, students who want to come to Roanoke College and are accepted into Roanoke College, they can spend their first 2 years, if they so choose, at Virginia Western. Get their degree requirements, get their associate's degree, they get the advising, they get the extracurricular activities, all those things from Roanoke College. But they can spend time at Virginia Western and then seamlessly come onto our campus, live on the campus, continue to be part of our intramural programs, all the rest. They will have a Roanoke College advisor while also having a Virginia Western advisor. It's great for Virginia Western, it's great for us, and it's really beneficial for the region. So that is, on the front end, a great partnership for Roanoke College. On the back end, we have signed agreements with Virginia Tech. What's great for Megan and I, we can wear maroon, whether we're in Salem or whether we're in Blacksburg. We don't have to update our wardrobes. But for students who graduate from Roanoke College, who want to go into many of those STEM fields, they got automatic access into Virginia Tech's graduate programs. Engineering, computer science, we're developing several more partnerships as we speak. So not only do they get automatic access, a lot of the classes they take during their time at Roanoke College as undergrads count for graduate courses. So maybe instead of having to spend 2 or 3 years in a graduate program, it may only take a year or a year and a half. So it's accelerated for them and automatic access. So it's a great feeder program for Virginia Tech. It builds that tie between Blacksburg and Salem and the Roanoke Valley even stronger, and is a huge boon for Roanoke College students. So we are excited about that partnership. And again, be on the lookout in the news to find out even more developments that are coming with that and several other graduate programs. But one thing we really want to talk about today, not the partnerships we have with Virginia Western, Virginia Tech, as great as those are. We want to talk about partnerships with you. How can you work with Roanoke College? How can we work with you to make sure that you get what you need? And I'm going to turn it over to Megan so she can talk about what we do at Place.
Hi, much. Awesome. Thanks for letting us be here this afternoon and talk about what we're doing in Place. I know you've heard from Bart and Jonathan, so I'm not going to repeat too much about what we are, but we like to think of ourselves as elevated career services. So we offer more than just, here's your resume, here are opportunities that you can apply for. So we're really supporting students across their lifespan. One of our colleagues is really involved in student orientation. So from the second that students are coming onto Roanoke College's campus, we're talking about what are you interested in, what do you want to study, and where will that take you? What are pathways that you could be considering? I tell students all the time, figuring out what you like and what you don't like is really impactful. So when you can cross things off of your list, having experiences that you said, nope, that one's not for me, that is just as productive of saying, yes, this is what I like. And Place serves as a central hub for that. Here on the screen, you'll see some of what we offer to our students. So we offer what a typical career services office does. So we do resumes. We help students prep cover letters if a job still requires those. We offer coaching opportunities. Jonathan hosted a great networking event yesterday for our students with several local businesses. So we're really preparing our students to take what they're learning in the classroom and apply it to the roles and experiences that they're interested in pursuing. We serve as the connector between employers and students. So we host a platform called Handshake. It's a national database. If you're interested in hiring our students, we can get you hooked into that platform. You have the opportunity to post it to any Handshake school. Virginia Tech is also a Handshake school, so lots of ways you can connect with students in our area, but we are encouraging all of our students to leverage that platform, so that can be a first stop for students who are beginning to look for internships or full-time experiences. We help students with their LinkedIn profiles. We know that that is going to continue to be a way for them to develop their networks when they leave Roanoke, and we want to make sure that they're set up for success there. We offer programming for a variety of groups. I'm so excited you all are getting some AI next week. We just did one last week with our students on AI in the exploration phase. So there's some pretty cool features out there that our students are learning about. But we offer support to our students from the second that they're on campus to their 50th reunion. My hope is that we're teaching students what they need to know to be successful and navigate their careers on their own when they leave us, but we're still there to support them should they still need us. Ways that you may be able to help with engaging with our students, internships. So we know getting experience, again, from a student perspective, can provide the strongest outcomes for them upon graduation. They need experience to get those first jobs. Often those come through those internships. Happy to share resources if you don't have a formal internship program at your organization and you'd like to get started with one, or if you do have one and you previously haven't recruited Roanoke College students, we can get you on Handshake and moving in that direction. Hiring those students when they graduate. We do host a job and internship fair, and I'll show that slide up next. on our campus, and we're participating in some in the local area that if you want to connect with our students, that may be a great opportunity to do so. We also have opportunities to serve as guest speakers. In my role, I also sponsor and supervise our leadership fellows. So I'm always looking for people who want to come in and talk about their leadership experience, what leadership means to you, how can you become a good leader, and what things may help you develop as a leader. So if you're interested at all in any of this, our contact information will be at the end of this presentation. Please reach out. Happy to talk further about that. Just wanted to share a quick glance at what we're offering to our students just this semester. Several programming events around AI and their job search. Had an awesome panel last night with recent alumni who are currently in graduate school. Talked about their trajectories, how they got there, things that they wish they had known when they were seniors in college, preparing for those applications. So that was a great experience for our students. We have Deloitte Future of Work coming in October, which we're really excited about for our juniors to be able to engage with that large company. But we're doing lots of things. If you have ideas of programming you might be interested in partnering with us on, we're happy to hear that, and would love to continue to offer experiences for our students that are productive. You'll see our contact information on the screen. I'm sure Jonathan and I both have ours with us today. So if you want to grab one from us before you leave, we're happy to share those.
We do have a few minutes if there are questions for our guests.
I just have one question.
Please repeat the question.
Son, daughter, and daughter-in-law, all graduates, so we're running college. One of the things that my daughter really enjoyed when she was there was singing in the choir. And I was wondering, I know that you're bringing back a marching band. Are you still planning on maintaining the music program?
That's a great question, and I will just quickly repeat it because I believe for some of the Zoom viewers, maybe they won't be able to hear the question. The gentleman mentioned that he is a part of a Maroon family through and through, 3 Roanoke College graduates that are part of the family. So we need to make sure we get 3 sweatshirts headed your direction. But also part of what his daughter truly enjoyed was being part of the Roanoke College choir program. And he mentioned that we are bringing the marching band back. Will the choir program and the music program still be something that Roanoke College offers? I'll give a 2-part answer. The longtime faculty member who led the Roanoke College choir, Dr. Sandborg, who'd been at the college for over 40 years, just retired a year ago. So as part of that, and then also part of the current marketplace with a small shrinking number of majors in our music program, we've suspended that particular major for the time being. But our hope is that through recruiting so many musicians as part of the marching band program, that's going to spike those numbers back up. So that is the hope. Right now, that the music major, except for the students who are currently music majors, we're not allowing new declarations until we start getting these marching band members back in, and then hopefully we can grow those numbers.
Quick follow, she was not a music major.
Oh, okay.
No, in fact, I think most of the college it was advocating. Exactly.
Which I was a history major at Roanoke College, so I know earlier we talked about choosing a major that leads to jobs. And I did not choose engineering, or business, much to my mother's chagrin. She and I still talk about that. So one thing I will definitely mention, sort of tied in with the avocation and a passion. We have just hired at the college a brand new director of what we call spirit programs. So that gentleman has a long track record of working with musicians, bands, marching components, and vocal talent as well. So he just started last Tuesday. So maybe he's been there for 8 days on campus. He just actually was at our activities fair, I believe this past Friday, and he got, I believe it was 35 or 40 students who are interested in taking part, not as a major, but in as a hobby, basically, in his musical program. So I think with his energy and with our recruitment and admissions efforts, we're going to really grow those fine arts musical elements to the college. Yes. Yes.
Student organization, and
exactly.
those still exist.
Yes.
So there is opportunity for that.
Yes. Looking for an echo, Main Street. Yes.
Thank you all. Great program. It's our custom to provide an honorarium, and believe it or not, this one goes to Roanoke College. Thank you, UVA guys. Feel better. I did my graduate work at Northwestern in the 80s, where we had the longest losing streak in college football history at 64 games. Maybe you guys can challenge that. Yeah, and with that, I will say if there's nothing more for the good of the cause, we are adjourned.
Great job. Want to send me that?
Yes.
Think about your end.